Okay, if you're going to change a fraction into a percentage, the first thing you need to do is make that fraction into something out of 100. So if you've got 1/10, you need to get this to 100, which would be times by 10. 10 times 10 is 100. Then you do the same to the numerator. So times the denominator by 10, you get 100. Times the numerator by 10, you get 10. 10 over 100 means that that is then 10%. Similarly, if you had 2 over 10, times the denominator by 10 to get to 100, then you times the numerator by 10 as well. 10 times 2, 20. So that would be 20%. If you have 1/2, change the denominator into 100 by timesing by 50. 2 times 50 is 100. So again, you do the same to the numerator at the top. 1 times 50, 50, which means that that would be 50%. If you have 2/4, again, get that denominator to 100. So 4 times 25 gets you to 100. 2 times by 25 as well becomes 50. So again, you've got 50 over 100, which means that that is 50%. Some of these fractions are a little bit trickier. If you have 1/8, you can't times 8 by anything to get to 100. It doesn't work. So instead of doing this, you can do 100 divided by 8. Use the bus stop method. 8 into 1 doesn't go, so carry that 1 across. 8 into 10 goes once, remainder 2. So 8 into 20 goes twice, that's 16. 16 means there's a remainder of 4, so going to put the 4 here and add another 0. This is now decimal. 8 into 40 goes 5 times, so you have 12.5. So 1/8 is 12.5%. We know that 1/8 is 12.5%, but say we were looking for 3/8 instead, I would then do 12.5 times 3. 3 times 5 is 15. Decimal. 3 times 2 is 6. Add on the 1, 7. And 3 times 1 is 3. So I've now got 37.5. 3/8 is 37.5%. Okay, so here is another tricky example. If we have 2/6, you can't times 6 by anything to get to 100, so I'm going to do the dividing method instead. 100 divided by 6. 6 into 1 doesn't go. Carry it over. 6 into 10 goes once, remainder 4. 6 into 40 goes 6 times. Now we're going to need a decimal because that leaves 4 again. 6 into 40, again, 6 times, still remainder 4, which means this would literally keep going. So instead of having a number that keeps going like this, the worksheet asks to do it to 1 decimal place. That means 1 place after the decimal here. So you need to round it to that, which means we're going to get 16.666. We're rounding to 1 decimal place, so circle the number you want to round to, underline the one next to it. If it's 5 or above, it means this one goes up by 1, so that will become a 7. Everything over this side becomes zeros, and then everything that side stays the same. So you would have 16.7%. We don't need the placeholders on the end, just get rid of those. So that is 16.7% for 1/6, but we need 2/6. So you need the 16.7 times by 2. 7 times 2, 14. 2 times 6, 12, add the 1, 13. 2 times 1, 2, add the 1, 3. So, your final answer, 2/6 equals 33.4%. So here's another example. If you have 8/20ths, convert that denominator to 100 by timesing by 5, which means the numerator also needs to be times by 5. 5 times 8, 40. So now that you've got 40 over 100, you know that that as a percentage is 40%. Hopefully now you should be able to complete this worksheet. Okay, so just going to take a quick look at this up-leveling sentences worksheet. So you have a sentence such as the garden has lots of plants. I've written the house had lots of ghosts. The first task is to rewrite the sentence and add modifying nouns or adjectives to create extended noun phrases. So I'm going to change this to the abandoned house had lots of evil ghosts. The second task on here is to rewrite the sentence from step 1, but start your sentence with a fronted adverbial. So that's where this sheet will come in helpful. We've got lots of fronted adverbials to use that you could look at. I'm going to go with twice a year, the abandoned house had lots of ghosts flying around outside. Just added a bit more detail on the end. Then, finally, rewrite the sentence from step 2, but choose a subordinating conjunction from the box below to add a subordinating clause. So, use these subordinating conjunctions. We want to keep that fronted adverbial at the start, so you will need to add these on at the end. Don't start it with a subordinating clause this time. So you could have twice a year, the abandoned house had lots of ghosts flying around outside because they like to come out and scare people. Have a go. There's 3 worksheets that you can do. For science, you need to choose an animal and find out about its life cycle. Think about how many stages its life cycle has and split the circle below so that it has a section for each stage of the life cycle. Then draw and describe each stage. So you'll need to research this on the internet, choose an animal and create its life cycle in here.